Hey there everybody, Milk Knight here, and welcome to the next part of Senran Kagura Burst Renewal. Last time we did the Crimson Fate mission, and this time we are going to be doing the Summer Memories, because we left off from here, if I recall. Which is like roughly halfway over of chapter 3, so... Mistress Haruka gives a fearless smile. To her, victory is a foregone conclusion. Not yet though. I'm not beaten just yet. Hamura gives me an uneasy look. It's alright. I'll protect her. I have to protect her. At this point, I'm down to my instincts. Right. Gotta do this. I take a deep breath. I extend my right hand. I was hoping I'd get the card with the kimono wearing man holding the umbrella, but instead I got the one of the strip of red paper with, I'm gonna butcher this, Akayaroshi written in Japanese. They're playing a card game, I guess. My instincts have failed me. Yep. They're playing, yeah, they're playing a card game like the other girls did on the way to the beach as well. That's kind of cool. Mistress Haruka shows off her Hanafuda hand. She smiles in triumphant satisfaction. Mistress Haruka looks at Hamura lavaciously. No way. If Hamura has to take the punishments, she's in for a world of hurt. Boob slap. Is that what I think it is? As I sit there dumbfounded, Mistress Haruka stretches out both hands. Mistress Haruka swings both hands inward, delivering a pair of mighty swats to Hamura's breasts. The air around her practically vibrates from the bounce. It's an attack designed more to humiliate than harm. She repeats the performance, now aimed at me. Her boob slap passes by my chest without making contact. This is going too far for a simple punishment game. A universe of fury is born in my head. I glare at the Akayaroshi card in my hand. Unforgivable. If it weren't for this stupid card, I stuff the card into my mouth. I stuff one card after another into my mouth. Mr. Haruka makes a grab for me. I swallow them before she can reach me. Sis's rebuke flies out at us. I look to see the other passengers are all staring. Like how she just threatens everybody with boob slaps. Quiet down and the sound of the train again reverberates through the passenger car. The constant steady rhythm feels nice. This is what it feels like to travel. As we exit the tunnel, the scent of salt water drifts in. I peer out the window. Without even a thought for modesty, Mistress Haruka starts taking off her clothes. Hamura jumps up and tries to stop her. No cause for alarm, huh? When I'm with Mistress Haruka, I feel like her crazy rubs off on me. Hikage follows suit. Sis's reprimand booms like a thunderclap. The whole car goes silent and all eyes turn to her. She shrinks down in embarrassment like a turtle pulling back into its shell. Why are we even going to the beach? It's not because of a mission. It's because we got a full day off from school. It all started yesterday. Master Suzune suddenly walked into the ninja room and gave us a strange announcement. We stared at her in confusion. Master Suzune doesn't hesitate at all in responding. Though we didn't quite steal the super secret ninja art scroll, we did acquire a valuable piece of information. Was it some kind of trap from Hanzo? Or could it be a function of the scroll itself? We don't know what it all means yet, but it'll play a role in the future planning for sure. So they rewarded us with this day trip to the beach. A reward for our first successful mission, but my thoughts are still jumbled. No one else has said anything, but I doubt I'm the only one who feels this way. Mistress Haruka's acting really cheerful, but I think she's hiding how upset she is at losing her team. We knew our missions would be merciless, but having to fight our own. If our failure led to the valuable info, I'm sure they'll use that to help us next time we go for the scroll. Also, only the lower ranked shinobi lost their minds. What if it had happened to the elite class? I tried to talk to Hamura about it earlier, but all she said was, she didn't seem bothered at all. That doesn't ease my worries though. Maybe that's because I could almost feel myself going berserk too. I'm weaker than the other elites physically and mentally. That's probably why the scroll affected me more. I held it off this time, but if it happens again, if I lose control, I could wind up attacking my friends. No, I don't want to. I don't want to fight them. After changing into my swimsuit, I walk out of the dressing room, squinting at the sun. Above is an empty expanse of blue sky. The ocean spreads out before us. I've never been able to tan at the beach, but I've always liked it anyway. I feel a tap on my shoulder and turn around to see Mistress Haruka smiling at me. She's probably right. Dwelling on what happened certainly isn't going to do me any good. I decide to change my attitude and try to have fun. Mistress Haruka doffs her t-shirt. I never heard the term doff before, by the way. I should probably start using it when I write. She reveals a pink bikini that barely covers her at all. We're doing this again like the Hanzo girls, where they're doing the swimsuit stuff. I'm wearing a comparatively modest regulation school swimsuit. It's the only one I own. Seeing how shy and fidgety I am, Mistress Haruka flashes me a delighted grin. Her eyes crawl over every inch of me. Hamura's covered up in a towel. Without a moment's delay, Mistress Haruka snatches away Hamura's towel. A scanty black bikini barely covers her large chest. Sis steps out of the dressing room, showing off a two-piece swimsuit, scented with cute frilly skirt with a fruit. I keep botching this. Showing off a two-piece swimsuit, scented with a cute frilly skirt. There we go. I couldn't quite wrap my brain around cute frilly and skirt all in like one. It like frazzled my brain. Sis ignores the predatory look on Haruka's face and strolls down to the beach. Finally, Hikage makes her grand entrance. This'll be good. Mistress Haruka is a one-woman fan club. With all that out of the way, everyone starts running toward the water. Yeah, Hikage has probably got the best one in my opinion. Hamura's got like a typical poster girl look, as always. Haruka's just like walking fan service, pretty much. Yomi's got a good one on too. It's very tasteful, I'd say. Hamura leaps into the water, closely followed by Sis and Hikage. I end up sitting down on the beach, watching everyone else splash around. But try as I might, I can't be as happy as they are right now. They're all out there laughing and playing, but I can't stop thinking about almost going feral. I'm not scared of fighting the enemy, but I'm more afraid of fighting my friends than I am of dying. I was bullied all the time as a kid, but in the elite class I have friends for the first time in my life. So what do I do? How do I avoid fighting them? Really, the answer's simple. I shouldn't be a Hibijo. If I quit being an evil shinobi, I won't have to be with them in the battle. They're calling to me, waving their hands. For today at least, I want to forget my troubles and just have fun like any other girl. But I'm not sure I can. The summer sunlight singes my skin. I turn my back on the beach and run like my life depends on it.
Mirai, どこ行くんや? ちょっと飲み物買ってくるね。なんか浮かへん顔しとるやん。どないしたん? ごめん。一人にしてくれない? なんでや。せっかく海に来たっちゅうのに。 わかった。未来泳げへんねやろ。図星か。ほなわしが特訓してやろか。特訓言うても単純に泳ぎ方教えるわけやないで。デク人形と戦って筋肉の使い方を体で覚えるんや。ちなみにデク人形は穂村さんが宅配便でここまで送ったんや。あいつの修行熱心さはどう超えとるわ。
今はそういう気分じゃないの。
まあそう言いなさんな。ほな行くで。
Heal the body and the mind. Is it generic enemies again? Playing as Yumi as always. Pretty easy stage, just more generic enemy bashing once again. Come on game, give us some opponents.
いい動きや。次は今の動きを水泳に応用して。
構わないで。
私に構わ
ないで。
どないしたんや。未来なんかおかしいで。
もう私とこれ以上仲良くしないで。これ以上仲良くなっちゃったら私。
今さらそれは無理ちゃうか。わしらは選抜チームなんやから。なあ、なんかあったんならいいや。わしでよかったら話を聞くで。
だから私に構わないでって言ってるでしょ。
未来
最高評価をいただき恐悦至極に存じます。
Mirai shouted at me and then turned and ran off down the beach. I didn't know what was going on with her. All I could do was stand there dumbfounded. Watching her shrinking form disappear into the distance gave me a weird, dark sensation in my chest. She still hasn't come back. We've been given an extra 3 days at the beach to look for her. Hibijo students who go AWOL are treated as renegades, since they know classified information. Sorry about that. The punishment's about as harsh as you'd expect. A few years in prison at the least. So far, Master Suzune managed to keep a lid on it. The official explanation is that she's doing extracurricular training. Even so, that cover story has only bought us 3 days. If we can't find her by then, we'll have to report her disappearance to the school. The first and second days have come and gone. If we don't find her today, she's in serious trouble. The beach, the riverbank, the mountains, the barrens. We search until our legs are stiff and sore, and there's no trace of her anywhere. She is a shinobi student after all. It only makes sense that she wouldn't be easy to track.
もしかしたらこの辺りを離れてしまったのだろうか。
Hamura doesn't usually look this unsettled. If Mirai uses these 3 days to get a head start, there's no way we're going to find her.
考えていても仕方がない。私たちにできるのは探すことだけだ。
We split up and go on searching individually. I try to imagine how Mirai is feeling. Did she really want to leave Hibijo? It didn't seem like it. And if I'm right about that, she probably hasn't gone far. I searched the back alleys of a deserted shops district. Mirai, where are you? Where did you go? The sun is setting. We don't have much time left. As I look high and low, I feel a sensation of deja vu. I remember. I've had this experience before. I don't have any parents. My earliest memories take place in an orphanage. I guess I must have been abandoned. Even as a child, I had no emotions, so the other kids used to tease me constantly. But since I don't feel anything, being called weird or dead-face obviously didn't bother me. Most of the kids seemed to find my attitude unpleasant, to put it mildly. At age 8, I escaped from the orphanage. Not for any compelling reason. I was just uncomfortable, so I thought I'd leave. People can live on their own. Even if you have nowhere to go, you can live off the clothes on your back in theory. A child living that way turned out pretty much like you'd expect. An unsavory character. I fell in with a street gang. I don't know how many were in the gang exactly, since there was a lot of turnover. Probably around 40 in total. Our leader was a girl named Hinata, maybe 20 years old or so. She had smooth, pretty skin and always wore trendy clothes. She looked more like a model than a gang member. Despite her looks, she was deadly with a knife, not someone you'd want to cross. She was downright sadistic in a fight which terrified everyone around her. Just like me, Hinata had escaped from an orphanage. Maybe that's why she noticed me. Whatever reason she had, she took good care of me. Even in the gang, I got teased a lot about my expressionless face. But Hinata was different. She'd tell me there was nothing strange about me, that I was fine just the way I was. She always used to tell me that. It was a weird thing to say, really. At least no one had ever told me anything like that before. She was different from the others. I wanted to be near her. I wanted to hear her voice. I must have followed her around like a puppy for I don't know how long. People can live on their own, but living by yourself is dull. Spending time with Hinata taught me that. Open your heart, people say. Without emotions, I never quite knew if I was doing it right. But, maybe, feeling like I did towards Hinata, that was what opening my heart felt like. Even now I can't say for sure. One day, someone in our gang screwed up and pissed off a rival gang. It escalated until they wanted us all dead. One after the other, our gang members turned up dead, slaughtered. They had no problems killing our younger members. I had a few pretty close shaves myself. At this rate things were going, we were going to be wiped out, so Hinata set up a parlay. But then she never came back from it. I looked for her. I don't even know how many days I kept on searching. The rest of the gang said that she'd make a break for it. I didn't believe that. Hinata wouldn't abandon the gang. She wouldn't abandon me. Even while everyone else left the hideout one by one, I searched and searched. One day I happened to look in the back alley behind the shops district. I saw a familiar looking figure lying in a dumpster.
まさか
Please let me be wrong.
お願いや
God or anyone.
ほんまお願いや
Don't take Hinata away from me. I staggered to the front of the dumpster. There lay Hinata limp as an old rag, illuminated by the orange light of the sunset.
ひなたひなた
I screamed until my throat hurt, but she didn't answer. Her smooth skin had been slashed to ribbons. I touched her blood-drenched form, and I felt how cold she was, how the warmth had been completely drained away. She was dead. Long dead. Her favourite knife lay by her side. I picked it up and gripped it tightly. I held on to it as hard as I could, as if I were holding on to her soul. I felt a strange sensation inside, as if my heart were in free fall. Drip, drip, drip. Drip, drip, drip. It was like the rain fall inside of me.
未来
Hikagi never had it easy. One of the reasons why I like her so much. She's got a very tragic backstory, but like, you understand why. I speak her name without even thinking. I'm passing by a dumpster in the shops district when I glance inside and see someone dressed like Mirai. The image of Hinata's dead body rushes back into my mind. A chill runs down my spine. With a lump in my throat, I approach the dumpster. Mirai's body is in the garbage. She's not even twitching.
未来嘘やろ
My strength leaves me and I drop to my knees. Then she
見
sits
つ
up.
かっちゃったか。死んだふりって効果ないね。
She gives me an awkward look.
このアホ何が死んだふりやわしたちがどれだけ心配したか
I feel something drip in my heart. Drip, drip, drip. Drip, drip, drip. Just like when I lost Hinata, there's rain inside me. Mirai looks at me
影
shocked.
泣いているの。
Crying. Me. That can't
泣くっ
be.
ていうんは悲しい時やろ今は未来を見つけることができて嬉しいんや泣くわけあらへん
As I say that, I take Mirai's hand.
違うよ、日陰。涙は嬉しい時にも出るんだ。
She gives me a tiny smile and offers me a handkerchief. Am I really crying? Am I? No, that could never be. I don't have any emotions. Nothing could make me cry. I just can't. It just can't happen. But maybe that raindrop feeling in my heart is the sound of tears. Was I really in tears whilst I was thinking of Hinata and Mirai? If that's true, then maybe I dabbed my eyes with Mirai's handkerchief. I look down at the fabric. It's just a little bit damp.
未来なんで逃げ出したん黙ってたらわからんとにかく戻ろうか
やだ、私は戻らない。戻りたくない。
理由もなく学校を離れたら抜け人扱いになることは知ってるやろ
知ってるよ。抜け人は悲惨な目に遭うこともね。 でも私はそれでも戻らないよ。
ほなしゃあないな。無理やりにでも連れて帰るで。
ユミ、鎮魂の夢に沈みましょ
う。ミラマイチュンジル。
And we actually get to
う。
go
いざ
against
鎮
Mira.
魂の夢に舞い散れ。打たせていただきます。甘く
なんかやん
眠りなさい。これが私の正義です。その程度ですか。させません。逃がしません。させません。お別れですね。させません。その信じる。
ちゃんと狙ってる。私はここよ。
This camera is so awkward in this area.
させません。邪魔をするなら打ち果たします。その程度。
It's over.
決着。私が正義です。
未来、今力抜いてたやろ。戻りたくなければわしを倒せばよかったはずや。それやのに力を抜くとはどういうこっちゃ。
私は戦いたくないんだ。選抜メンバーのみんなは私の大事な友達だから。傷つけるのも傷つけられるのも嫌なんだ。でも今のままヘビ所にいたら私凶暴化してみんなに襲いかかっちゃうかもしれない。
凶暴か。超秘伝忍法書の任務のことのか。
私半蔵襲撃の時に凶暴化しかけたんだ。
そうやったんか。話は分かった。わしは未来を見んかったことにするわ。わしも嫌や。あんたと命がけで戦うなんてできん。
でも私を見逃しちゃったら。
わしのことは気にせんでええ。はよ逃げるんや。不思議なもんやな。未来と戦うことを思うと胸が痛む。でもあの葛城と戦うことを思うと 胸が弾むような感じがする。なんなんやろこれ。このわけのわからん感じは。もしかしてこれが感情っちゅうもんなんやろか。
最高評価をいただき強越至極に存じます。
That mission's cool, to be fair, because you get to see Hikage's backstory. Definitely a lot more tragic than anyone else's, really.
未来待て。
ホムラ。
日陰から話は聞いた。
だったらこのまま行かせてよ。私が選抜クラスにいたら凶暴化してみんなに。
バカ野郎。私は言ったはずだ。体力や精神力の弱い者が凶暴化しやすいと。だ
から私は。
未来聞け。体力や精神力が弱いのなら鍛えればいい。違うか。やるべきことはまず修行。逃げるよりも鍛えることだ。未来、私と戦え。無意味に殺し合うための戦いではない。蛇女の仲間として生きていくための戦いだ。
ホムラ、お願
い。よし、では行くぞ。
Baby, come back. Bring Mirai back.
ユミ、鎮魂の夢に沈みましょう。いざ鎮魂の夢に舞い散れ。させません。眠れるそこですか。力がみなぎる。力がみなぎる。させません。させません。
い。どうしてやろうかしら。邪魔をするなら打ち果たします。させません。食らいなさい。無様ですね。私がこんなバカな奴らに。私が正義です。
私の勝ちだな。
私弱いね。強くなりたい。私もっともっと強くなりたい。
なれるさ。未来なら。強くなるための戦いなら私がいくらでも付き合ってやる。
でも戻っていいのかな。私下人になってないの。
気にするな。今戻ればお咎めはないだろう。それに悪は善より寛大だからな。さあ一緒に帰ろう。
評価をいただき強越至極に存じます。さて今日も後輩たちを至極としましょうか。ん？はるかさん。
Oh, hello, Hibara.
ひばり？なんでここに？もちろん自分で調べたんだよ。ひばり、情報活動だけは得意だから。まさかヘビ女の本拠地に乗り込んでくるなんて。はるかさんに言われた通り転校しに来たよ。え？ちょっと待って。本気？もちろん本気だよ。だって悪は正義より寛容なんだよね。ひばりってドジばっかしちゃうんだ。だから善人より悪人の方が向いてると思って。だからって。そうだよね。なんか裏があるって思うよね。だったらはるかさん、ひばりと戦って。どうして？戦ってみればわかるよ、ひばりの気持ちが。
Hooray, we get to fight Hibari.
いざ鎮魂の夢に舞い散れ。はい、打たせていただきます。この甘く見ていました。甘く見ていました。力をみなぎる。力
Say goodbye to half of your health.
みなぎる。みなぎる。逃がしません。やっちゃうよ。滅びなさい。邪魔をするなら打ち果たします。食らいなさい。無様ですね。もう一回。決着。私が正義です。ちゃった。やっぱりはるかさんは強いね。まっすぐで曇りのない戦いだったわ。ひばりは嘘をついていない。本当にヘビ女に転校したいのね。うん、ひばり、はるかさんと一緒に頑張りたいの。なんてけなげで可愛いの。もう抱きしめたい。ちょっと待って。これ。これって半蔵の超秘伝忍法書？はるかさん以外の人たちにも信用してもらいたくて。確かにこれがあればみんなも文句はないはず。快くひばりを迎えてくれるわ。よかった。はるかさん、これからよろしくね。ひばり、ようこそヘビ女子学園へ。歓迎するわ。最高評価をいただき強越至極に存じます。
People call this city's glittering skyline a symbol of our nation's wealth, but in its shadow are the slums where I was born and raised. This is Yomi's backstory, obviously. The shanty town would welcome any stranger who wandered in with naught but the clothes on his back. The dirt road that leads in this is called Unemployment Street. The moment my feet set upon that road, I could already smell rotting bananas. What a nice aroma. It's the slums' way of saying welcome home. A short walk down Unemployment Street leads to a row of mansions made from sheet metal. People in the slums call this area Beverly Hills. Oh, yes, Beverly Hills. It even smells like La Dolce Vita. It's the smell of packaged instant ramen being cooked. As that smell tickles my nostrils, I hear the distant sounds of children laughing. The voices are coming from Central Park, which is what we call the slum's main recreational area. I wonder what's going on. Let's take a look and see. A woman clad in a kimono and mask stands on stage at the center of the plaza. The handmade mask resembles a bird. A swallow, I suppose. The show appears to be quite a hit with the children. The masked woman begins acting like a child. She then switches to the role of a creepy old man. Apparently this is a one-woman show. She then shifts into a powerful voice and presses play on an old cassette player. The cassette player belts out fast-paced heroic theme music. The woman strikes a pose at center stage. BC Mask starts to beat up the creepy old man. From BC Mask to the old man to little girl, and little girl to BC Mask. She shifts her positions with dizzying speed, keeping up the play by herself. Can't quite call it a good performance. The acting falls far short of what professionals typically offer. Amateur production or not, however, the children's eyes are glued to the BC Mask. When the play ends, the audience cheers and applauds. All of the children are smiling. I've never seen such happy expressions. BC Mask hands out candy to the children, then dashes off stage. I slip into the shadows and tell her. For a street performer, BC Mask is quite fast. The only way I can keep her in sight is by running full speed. She's as fast as a shinobi student. Who on earth is she? She stops in front of the town hall and drops an envelope through a mail slot. Once she leaves, I squeeze my hand through and grab the envelope. Now let's see. On the envelope is written donation of 30,000 yen. She puts on a show, gives out candy, and even donates money to help the slums. I'm consumed with the desire to thank her. I exit the slums and search the area. A short while later I find BC Mask in the shade of a nearby tree. As I watch, she removes the mask and places it in her bag. I move in front of her to catch a glimpse of her face. The sight of her face leaves me speechless. BC Mask is really... mortifying. This is mortifying. I've never been so humiliated. BC Mask is really the sport little princess in disguise. I thought there must have been such a good person under that mask. What a ludicrous notion. As my harsh tone, the little princess casts her gaze downward. Princess fidgets, unable to reply.
KP 仮面は黒髪パッツン仮面のことです。
はあ
Taken aback at the sheer lameness of it all.
いや、この名前は桂木さんにつけてもらって。
I tune out to explanation. I'm not interested in whatever weak excuses she has.
センスのなさはいいとしましょう。でも寄付に関しては言語道断ですわ。お金持ちのお嬢様がたった3万 ?3000 万かと思いきや、たったそれっぽっち偉そうに封筒に包んで。
I unload all my pent-up aggression. The princess offers no defense as I prepare my final assault. I know her wealthy blood runs cold through her heart, but her ruthlessness is nothing compared to mine.
そもそも寄付でしたら私もしていますの。いくらだと思われまして？月額30万円。30万円ですわよ。学校の奨励金を全部寄付しているんです。
If going without means I can make sure one less child will starve, I'll give it all I have for that child's sake.
私の行いが偽善だというのなら返す言葉はありません。
I can barely hear her
た
muttering.
だ、あなたから貧民街の話を聞いて何かできることをしたいと思ったのです。
With that, she sinks to her knees and lowers her head to the ground.
何の真似ですの？
She's kneeling. The princess is setting aside her pride and kneeling before me. I have to admit, I'm a bit
お
astonished.
父様の言動があなたを深く傷つけたのなら、私にはこうしてお詫びすることしかできません。
I'm forced to choke down my rage and bile. I'm not fond of people who think that saying the "I'm sorry" fixes everything. In fact, I've always regarded the urge to apologise with deep suspicion. You can bare your head and still be laughing in your heart. I'm sure all rich people just do that. She still kneels with her brow to the ground, not moving a muscle. As I watch her, I can't help but think of her BC mass performance. The children really did look happy. They all truly enjoyed the show. How can such a rotten person give such joy to children? No, I think that would be impossible. Children are pure, honest beings. They can see right through a charlatan. But if that's the case, what could there be in the heart of this princess that gives them so much joy? I grind my teeth. I can feel myself welling up. The image of the kneeling princess turns blurry in my sight.
お金があって心も綺麗なんてずるい。
My emotions suddenly burst forth. I perform my shinobi transformation and swing my sword down at her, but the princess does not even react. My sword plows into the ground a few inches away from her head. I inhale sharply, trying to gather myself. There's so many things I want to say to her.
あれは私が小学校を卒業する直前のことでした。お父さんとお母さんが急にいなくなってしまったのです。
All my deepest thoughts and feelings come pouring out at once.
自分が両親に捨てられたと思いました。
I unleash all the sadness and anger I've been holding back these many long years.
お嬢様には絶対にわからない。貧民街の人にエビジを紹介してもらうまで、私がどんな気持ちで生きてきたのか。
The tears threaten to spill from my eyes.
私は両親を、大好きだった両親を恨んで生きてきたのです。
Before I realize it, she's crying right along with me.
恨みをバネにして生きていくしかなかったから。
Her large black eyes cloud over like crystals.
違ったんです。両親は私を捨てたわけではありませんでした。両親は命を切り売りしてまで私の将来のためにお金を残してくれたのです。そんな。
Her mouth finally opens. A tear traces its way down her cheek.
すべて遅かったのです。両親に感謝したくても、両親に疑ったことを詫びたくても、すべてが遅かったのです。お父さんとお母さんは死んでしまったのだから。
In my fury, I kick away the princess's bag.
どうして
して生まれた時からお金がある家とない家があるの？
Still crying, I grasp her shoulders and shake her. I shake her as hard as I can over and over.
許さない！お金持ちは許さない！
I scream until I run out of air. As I break into gasps, I catch sight of a scroll lying on the ground. It must have been in her bag. I pick it up and open it. The princess lets out a small exclamation, but it doesn't deter me from looking. The scroll details her entire family tree. The scroll reveals a shocking truth to me.
あなた、幼女だったのですか?
Without a word, she nods. I flash back to the eating contest. That boy Murasame who treated her so coldly, it must have been because she's not his bloodkin. Maybe she didn't have such a peaceful, happy childhood after all.
幼女だったのなら、少しぐらい言い訳を。あなたに言い訳など意味がありません。
With that, she again puts her brow to the ground. I had it completely wrong. She hadn't discarded her pride by prostrating herself. Quite the opposite. She took pride in prostration, not asking for simple forgiveness at all. All the wealthy were my enemies. I labelled them a target for my hatred, and I've lived with that ever since. And though I see now that my path might be twisted, it is not so easy to change. However, I silently hold out my right hand.
結構です。お立ちください。
She looks up at me and gingerly takes my hand. I suddenly realise something else. Her hands are warm. What I said before about her wealthy blood running cold wasn't a metaphor. I've always been under the impression that rich people were literally cold-blooded. But I was wrong. She had a tender warmth. I pull her to her feet. Her face is stained with tears and mud.
お嬢様、ひどい顔ですね。ええ、でも、ヨミさんも同じですよ。
I like how they come to an understanding. It's quite nice. We exchange a quick glance and suddenly burst into laughter. As we continue to laugh, tears begin to stream again. And yet we're still laughing, crying, laughing again.
お金持ちは嫌いです。でも、お嬢様とは仲良くなれるかもしれません。
As I say that, her face falls a bit.
私の行い、偽善も許せるのですか？私はお嬢様の行いを偽善とは思いません。
My heart's been consumed with hatred for the rich as long as I can remember. And now, thanks to a rich person, I feel my heart begin to lighten again. Life truly is mysterious.
偽善とは思いませんが、それでもお嬢様がお気にするのなら、偽善も善のうちです。
I hold my hand out to her again. She accepts it with another little smile. This time it's just a shake. Our orders may bring us into conflict again. She certainly knows that as well as I do. So we let the handshake linger for a while, each feeling the warmth of the other.
O嬢様、あなたは他のお金持ちとは違うようです。ありがとう。分かってくださって。おや、なんでしょう、あのたくさんの人たちは。随分と柄が悪いのですが。あの人たちは地上げ屋が雇った不良です。地上げ屋？貧民街のあちこちで暴れて土地を安く買い叩こうとしているのです。何ですって？それは許せません。もちろん一人残らず追い払います。ヨミさん、私にも手伝わせてください。え？お願いします。あなたの力になりたいのです。わかりました。お嬢様、力を貸してください。
ええ、任せてください。ユミ、鎮魂の夢に沈みましょう。任務開始。はっはいセーフ。いて力をみなぎる。いてつけ。はっはいいてそこですか。シャッ力をみなぎる。ふっはっ眠りなきそこですか。いてつけ。セーフセーフ。打たふシャッふっ打たせていたふっいてそこですか。しはい力がみなぎる。甘く見ている。シャララ逃がしみなぎる。シャッシャッいてしいてつけ。
Just gotta pause a second, give me a minute.
休息は十分です。させません。打たせていただきそこですか。打たせてください。突破。いてつけそこですか。いやいてつけ。打たせてそこですか。眠りなさい。打たせてそこですか。
Nice. There we go.
任務達成。任務完了です。これで不良たちは全て追い払いましたね。
お嬢様、ありがとうございます。
どうしたのですか。浮かない顔して。何かまだ問題があるのですか。
私たちは悪人と善人、いつかは戦う定めです。
ええ、そうですね。
だからその時が来るまでは私とお友達になってくださいますか。
え、
私のような貧乏人ではダメでしょうか。
とんでもない。私の方こそお願いします。ただしお嬢様ではなくてイカルガと呼んでもらえますか。
あら、嫌だ。そうですね。ではこれからよろしくお願いします、イカルガさん。
最高評価をいただき上越至極に存じます。
ホムラちゃん、ひばりが持ってきた半蔵の超秘伝忍法書は。
あれなら 道元が持って行った。蛇女の本部で保管するらしい。
ほんとひばりのお手柄よね。さあひばりと一緒にスイーツでも食べに行こうかしら。
おいはるか、今はそんな時か。超秘伝忍法書を取り戻しに半蔵の連中が攻めてくるとは思わないのか。
大丈夫大丈夫。もし半蔵が攻めてきたとしても私とひばりでちょちょいのちょいだから。
はるか、蛇女の生徒は慣れ合わない仲間ではなかったのか。
私とひばりは慣れ合ってないわよ。超仲良しなだけ。
しかし
何よ、私の強さが不安ってこと？いいわ。だったら試してみなさいよ。ひばりとラブラブになっても腕は鈍ってないから。
いいだろう、相手になってやる。
弓、鎮魂の夢に沈みましょう。いざ鎮魂の夢に舞い散れ。眠りなさい。危ないわね。いやん、上手なのね。わさび危ないわね。させません。それ悪いとね。私の下僕にしてほしいの？まだまだ甘いわ。みなぎる。我慢できたらご褒美よ。しびれてたまらなくなっちゃうわよ。その町は探してあげましょう。危ないわね。お別れですね。うまくできたらご褒美よ。ハードバイブレーション。その程度ですか。させません。その程度ですか。させません。悪い子ね。まだまだ甘いわね。こらえつけてあげる。邪魔をするなら打ち果たします。その程度ですか。悪い子ね。忘れられないくらい可愛がってあげる。滅びさせてあげる。螺旋の力を受けなさい。生意気な子ね。積極的すぎよ。決着。私が正義です。
はるか、久しぶりに1対1で戦ったが相変わらずやるな。これだけの腕があるのだ。仲良しごっこはやめたらどうだ。
確かにホムラちゃんは強い。でも私は負けた気がしないわ。
強がりはよせ。
強がってるのはどっちかしら。
なんだと？
知っている？ヨミちゃんが半蔵の子と友達になったの。
何？
いけない？
当たり前だ。あいつらは命を懸けて戦う敵だぞ。
私が言っているのはそうじゃない。友達を作っ
So
た
I
らい
just
けない
dawned on me
よって
that Hamura's headband is shaped like devil horns. I only just noticed that.
強さを極めるには
And I've
邪
been
魔だ。
playing this game for like, well, these games for
私はそうは思わないけど。
years. I only just noticed.
はるかもヨミも話にならん。
Crazy.
最高評価をいただき、強越至極に存じます。
選抜メンバーがいがみ合っているというのは本当か？
Hibari's face just getting pulled. The deep voice of the suited man echoes through the shinobi room. He's a tall man, solidly built. His name is Dogen. He's one of the Hibijo's biggest investors.
答えろ。本当かと聞いているのだ。
Hibagi's got the right idea. She's just putting her fingers in her ears. Answer me, I asked you a question. I glance around at the others, but they look away. As Dogen sees no answers are coming, his expression grows severe. Though Hibijo's investors are many and varied, most of the money comes from big business. When they need to resolve business matters through unofficial channels, they often make use of Hibijo alumni. On rare occasions, Dogen himself will work with evil shinobi in training. His investments alone, apparently from his own personal finances, rival those of big corporations. Who is he, and what is he planning? His presence makes us all uncomfortable, but he's a valuable sponsor, so there's no room to complain.
あるか？本当なのか？
Since no one else is answering, he picks me.
見ればわかるとしか答えようがありません。
The team is split into groups on opposite sides of the ninja room. One group consists of myself, Hibari, and Yomi. The other consists of Hamura, Hikage, and Mirai. Our schools of thought that value friendship in spite of being shinobi. One school of thought that prizes the acquisition of power over all else. Somewhere along the line, we split right down the middle. Master Suzune stands between the two groups, grim-faced, arms folded. I don't think she's particularly thrilled to have to mediate this disagreement. My heart aches. I hope I'd never see this amongst my own friends.
仕方がない。ならばグループ同士で対抗戦というのはどうだ？そして勝った側に負けた側が従えばいい。
Hamura grins at Dogen's proposal.
私たちが勝ったら慣れ合いはご法度。それならやってもいい。
じゃあひばりたちが勝ったらみんな仲良くするんだね。死んじゃうものは黙ってろ。
The moment Hibari begins to speak, Mirai snaps at her.
でも対抗戦望むところだよ。私があんたをギッタギタにしてやる。
Dogen watches their argument with a keen eye. Master Suzune gives a disappointed sigh.
はるか、どうする？
Hibari and Yomi look expectantly at me. It looks like I've got to decide the vote. Might makes right, winner takes all, but how very appropriate for Hibijo. I can't bring myself to simply go along with this. For one who doesn't even mean to be appropriate for Hibijo. Circumstances with Hibari have made me rethink my relationship with the school in general. Our goal is to become evil shinobi. The work of an evil shinobi is unglamorous to say the least, and it demands the very pinnacle of mental and physical conditioning. That's it. An evil shinobi must be strong in body and mind. In which case, what Hamura is saying is... At my continued silence, Master Suzune speaks up instead.
はるか、少し話がある。はい。みんなは席を外してくれ。
Oh no, I skipped all that text, god damn it. I pressed the square button. I wanted to go back and look. Ugh. She means the very first power that she taught me. Just before I was admitted to Hibijo, when I thought of killing my parents. I grew up in a wealthy doctor's family. We lived in a bona fide mansion, envy of all my little school friends. If they know what took place inside that house, they wouldn't have envied me at all. My parents were human garbage. My mother's very identity revolved around doting on me. Anything I wanted she bought for me. Anywhere I went she came along as well. Every waking moment I had smothered under a mountain of her lessons. She had a particularly morbid fascination with clothes. She'd buy them by the truckload and dress me up like her own little living doll. We had a huge dressing room, or as I considered it, a torture chamber. Mother would always dress me and say how cute, or how beautiful, or I could never refuse her directions. It was like being under a spell. Father, on the other hand, was rarely home. Even as a child, I knew he was having affairs. Because of that, Mother directed all of her feelings at me. Mother may have been mad, but Father was the one who drove her to it. Father was a world-renowned physician, but beneath his sterling reputation was a shocking amount of malpractice, all papered over with hush money. To make matters worse, that money came from multiple counts of tax evasion, so yes, I think human garbage is an accurate description. Yeah, damn right. I could only tolerate so much from either of them. Sometime in the middle school, I finally exploded inside. It was late one night, a rare night when both of them were actually home. Somehow I found myself standing on the front steps. In one hand was a lighter, in the other hand a can of kerosene. I remember thinking, I'm going to burn it, I'm going to end all this. Once it's over, I can then be free. With an utterly calm expression, I began pouring out the kerosene. Utterly calm expression, poured out the kerosene and then flipped the lighter, and that's when it happened. The lighter disappeared from my hand. Confused, I turned around to see a woman in a red parka standing behind me. She held my lighter in her hand. When did she manage to take it? She turned her back and walked away, her long hair fluttering in the wind. I saw no other choice but to follow in silence. When we approached a nearby park, she tossed the lighter back to me. I fumbled with my hands and caught it. A teacher. That was a bit disappointing. Teachers don't get involved in household problems. Outside of television shows, they're good for nothing but empty platitudes. She looked at me with ice in her eyes, not a look one would expect from just any teacher.
やっぱり家を燃やすか。両親を殺して嫌な家を燃やせばお前の心は救われるのか。
Her words caught me off guard. Killing them, burning the house down, it wouldn't make me feel better at all. Even if my parents were to vanish, it wouldn't break the chain around my heart. In the end, all I'd be left with would be guilt. I'd been in worse shape ever. But what was I supposed to do then? How else was I going to get away? After a moment's consideration, I saw there was only one possible outcome, miserable as it was. To accept the impossible, to admit I couldn't escape. Not from my parents, not from that house. Nothing I did would get me out of that hell. I realised I'd been crying. My cheeks, my collar, everything was soaked in tears. Finally managed to stop crying without a word. Master Suzune pulled out a handkerchief.
私なら救うことができる。お前が両親を操ればいい。
I stared at her in naked confusion, then I took the handkerchief. A few months later, father turned himself into the police, confessing both his tax evasion and his medical malpractice. All thanks to Master Suzune and her lessons in the art of puppet mastery manipulation, but on a much deeper level. He lost most of his fortune. I knew his mistresses would follow soon enough. Mother's case was not so cut and dry. With father out of the picture, I wondered if she might be happy, if we might be happier as a family. I decided to give her another chance. Loathsome as she'd been, she was still my mother after all. Since I had no other school in mind, I decided to enroll in Hibijo Clandestine Girls' Academy. Obviously my parents couldn't know. Upon enrolling, I decided to leave the house. Getting into Hibijo was easy. Since I'd already learned the rather difficult art of puppet mastery, I was quite advanced for a new student. Again, all thanks to Master Suzune's rigorous coaching. She freed my heart and allowed me to move ahead on my own new path. I'm truly grateful to her. Master Suzune is my dear mentor.
それでどうする？
Master Suzune stands facing me in the ninja room, still awaiting my
傀
response.
儡の術なら使えません。仮にホムラちゃんたちを操れたとしても、それで解決だとは思いませんし。
どうして？
それは対抗戦で戦えばはっきりすると思います。
Her mouth twists at my words. She wears a cool smile just like she once flashed at me when we first met.
成長したな。
Master Suzune claps me on my shoulder and leaves the room. Puppetry is a devilishly easy problem solver, and the old me abused it left and right. But even when I did take control of my target's emotions, the results were always at least a bit off from what I hoped for in my heart. To truly resolve conflict, opponents must clash and thereby reach an understanding. I could never reach that point with my parents, but my fellow elites can surely meet me halfway. We should be able to understand each other absolutely. That's why we'll give this battle my all. Hamura Hokage Mirai, I'll fight you with very, very heart. Please accept it.
私の相手はホムラちゃんね。この間のリベンジをさせてもらうわよ。
1対1の戦いでは仲間など役には立つまい。
そんなことはないわ。手助けはしてくれなくても心を支えてくれる、それが仲間よ。
そんな支えがなくても強いものは強い。鍛え上げた力と技こそが支えとなるんだ。
だったら戦ってはっきりさせるまでね。
望むところだ。
ちょっと待って、どうせ戦うのならホムラちゃん、あなたの勝負隊も一緒に相手をしてあげるわ。
なんだと？勝負は1対1のはずだ。
ただ1対1で勝つだけじゃホムラちゃんは仲間の大切さを理解しないでしょ。
だからといって1人対多数じゃ勝負にならん。
1人対多数じゃないわよ。だって私の心の中には仲間がいるから。
一人で戦うことで仲間の大切さを証明しようというのか。いいだろう、そこまで言うのならその条件で相手をしてやる。
Defeat Homura.
任務開始。させません。いてつけ。眠りなさい。いてつけ。みなぎ。いてつけ。甘く見て打たせていただきます。はい、打たせていただきます。させません。お別れですね。頂戴します。邪魔をするなら打ち果たします。滅びなさい。これが私の正義です。風の力を受けなさい。ここまでか。どうする。
ホムラ、舞順次よ。
いざ鎮魂の夢に舞い散れ。
ビビっているならとっとと失せろ。受けてみろ。
頂戴します。
甘いぞ。
滅びなさい。
受けてみろ。甘いぞ。
その程度ですか。その程度ですか。
遅い。6つの木だ。お前に突き立ててやろう。
正しい。その町正してあげましょう。
避けてみせろ。
させません。これが私の正義です。風の力を受けなさい。その町が正してあげましょう。風の力を受けなさい。
甘いぞ。
滅びなさい。
薄っぺらいんだ。
風の力を受けなさい。私が様ですね。
まさか私が。
決着。私が正義です。
なの？
いや、まだだ。まだ私は戦えるぞ。
ちょっと待って。ホムラちゃん、どれだけタフなのよ。
来い、はるか。決着はどちらかが動けなくなるまでだ。
もういいわ。ホムラちゃんの強さはよく分かった。このまま戦いを続ければ、そのうち私は負けるわ。スタミナ、打たれ強さ、精神力、ホムラちゃんの総合力にはかなわない。やっぱり選抜メンバー最強はホムラちゃんよ。仲間なんか関係ない強さってあるのね。
いや、私が押されたのは事実だ。仲間の存在で精神力が増すのは確からしい。はるかの言葉は一理ある。
だったらこうしない？強さも大事、仲間も大事、両方大事ってことで。
そうだな。それでいい。
よかった。それじゃこれで仲直りね。
最高評価をいただき強越至極に存じます。私の相手は日陰さんですか？
まあそういうことやな。
日陰さんはどうして仲間を否定するのです？
別に否定してるわけやないけど。
だって強さを追求するグループにいるじゃないですか。
わしは感情がないからの。仲間が大事とかよくわからんのや。仲間に比べれば強さの方が分かりやすい。それで穂村さんの方におるってわけや。
なるほど、わかりました。大した理由はないのですね。
ただの強さには数も入ると思うんや。この勝負、わしの勝負隊も参加させてもらうで。
別に構いません。相手が何人来ようとこの勝負負けるわけにはいきません。
ユミ開始。
Right, time to fight. Yeah, I like how Kage's squad is like the Wolf Blade squad, pretty much. This is another generic enemy I'd like to play as, actually. I think the wolf claws look kind of cool.
その程度で止める気ですか？お別れです。許しません。邪魔をするなら打ち果たします。いざ鎮魂の夢に舞い散れ。させません。
なんでつまらないですよね。ああ、濡れてないと。
技あり。
危ないやんけ。危ないやん。
刻ん行くで忍び転身。
できるやつよね。危ないやんけ。これも私の正義です。
Saw that coming a mile off.
邪魔をするのはうち私その町が正しさだ。おしまいや。無様ですね。
なんやねん、ほんまに。
決着。私が正義です。私の勝ちです。
ヨミさん、驚いたで。普段より強いやないか。
日陰さん、手を抜いていましたね。全力の日陰さんと戦ったら私も無事では済まないはずです。どうしてですか？どうして手を抜いたのですか？
仲間を大事にできんやつより仲間を大事にできるやつが勝った方がいいと思ったんや。そんなこと考えとったらちょっと隙ができてしまったっちゅうわけや。
日陰さん、
いずれにしてもヨミさんの勝ちは勝ちや。
日陰さん、私にはあなたが感情がないとは思えません。
そうか。そう言ってくれるとなんか嬉しい気もすんな。
最高評価をいただき強逸至極に存じます。
ああ、未来ちゃんが相手なんだ。ひばり、嬉しいな。どういうこと？だって未来ちゃんならひばりでも勝てそうかなって。あんた新入りのくせに生意気よ。そんなこと言わないでよ。ひばり悲しくなっちゃう。うるさい！たまらたまらたまらたまら！あんたが日比社に来てからみんなおかしくなった。私は騙されない。絶対あんたには何か裏がある。ひばり、裏も表もないよ。だから正直に言うね。この勝負、はるかさんから借りた勝負体を使うから。ひばりは仲間を大切にする派だから、勝負に仲間を使うのは当然だよ。何よそれ。1対1じゃないってこと？なんか問題ある？未来ちゃんは強さを追求する派でしょ？だったら不利なぐらいがちょうどいいんじゃない？やってやるよ。何相手でも私は負けないんだから。
ユミ、鎮魂の夢に沈みましょう。任務開始。させません。力がみなぎる。いてつけ、打たせていただく。逃がしません。打たす力がみなぎる。はい、いてつけ。戦士はし
smack him with the fan.
その程度で止める気ですか？させません。これが私の正義です。させません。
Bit odd that they put training does in now.
お別れです。許しません。食らいなさい。進め。いざ鎮魂の夢に舞い散れ。頂戴します。させません。これが私の正義です。お別れですね。滅びなさい。行くよ。させません。その町は正しさに。
Oh, giant Hibara. I love that attack. I wish you'd do it more often.
邪魔をするのは打ち果たします。これが私の正義です。風の力を受けなさい。無様ですね。もう一回。決着。私が正義です。
私に勝とうなんて100年早い。未来ちゃん、もう終わりなの？嘘でしょ。なんでピンピンしてるのよ。理由は簡単だよ。未来ちゃんが弱いからだよ。そんなわけない。だってあんたボロボロじゃない。そんなんじゃ未来ちゃんは誰も守れないね。ひばりは未来ちゃんとは別のチームでよかった。そんなこの子、何かがおかしい。一体どうなってるの？
最高評価をいただき、恐悦至極に存じます。ひばり。ひばり、大丈夫か？しっかりしろ。
ひばりは負けてない。負けてないもん。はるかさんの勝負隊の皆さん、ひばりにもっと力を貸して。暴れて
方ない。許せ、ひばり。
野球ちゃん、ここはどこなの？
ひばり、お前は催眠をかけられていたようだ。
催眠？ひばりが？そんなのかけられた覚えないよ。
そうか。その話はとりあえず後にしよう。今はここから逃げることが先決だ。
お前は半蔵の一人だな。
許さない。よくもひばりに催眠をかけたな。
催眠？何の話だ？
問答無用。ひばりを傷つけた奴は切る。
ユミ、鎮魂の夢に沈みましょう。任務開始。
Here we go.
確き命、神に返しなさい。打たせそこで力がみなぎ。私の正義は鋭いですよ。
I didn't realize there was a taunt button.
消えなさい。そんなぬるさで私の正義に力が
I never use it.
いてつけはませ打たせせ打たせそこですか。はい、打たせていただきます。いただきます。
I mean, the taunt button doesn't have the same like function that it has in like DMC, for example. It's just to look cool, I suppose.
私の正義をお見せしましょう。私の正義をお見せしましょう。
I guess it's only 2 quotes.
真の正義の何たるか
No,
教え
3 of
てあげ
them
ましょう。
maybe?
私の正義をお見せしましょう。そんなぬるさで私の正義を
Nope.
溶かせる
4 of
か。
them.
私の正義は鋭いですよ。悪しき命、神に返しなさい。私の正義は鋭いですよ。
Yeah, there's about 6 quotes. That's kind of cool, actually.
その程度で止める気ですか。はっ、はい、打たせていただきそこですか。いてつけ打たせていたいてつけそこですか。させません。はあ、これが私の正義だ。邪魔をするなら打ち果たします。
やべえ、前忍ぶ。
いざ鎮魂の夢に舞い散れ。その程度ですか。体がさせるか。お別れですね。これが私の正義だ。ラジオの力を受けなさい。その間違い正してあげます。これが私の正義。ラジオの力を受けなさい。これが私の正義。
Jeez, how broken. Didn't even give her a chance to switch outfits. That's crazy. I told you it's possible. Probably the first time I've done it, but yeah,
私が
it's a thing.
正義です。
You can definitely do that. That's crazy.
かなりのやり手だが私の相手ではないな。
俺の目的はひばりの奪還だ。 ここはひとまず引かせてもらう。
待って、ひばりを連れて行く気？
当然だ。ひばりは騙されていただけだからな。
騙されていた？何を言ってるの？
文句があるのなら戦ってと言いたいところだが、お前たちとはまたすぐに会う。その時に思う存分やってやる。
近いうちに必ず会う。どういう意味だ？
最高評価をいただき、強越至極に存じます。
Haruka stands in the empty spot Hibari had just disappeared from. Her back is turned and her head is bowed. I pat on her shoulder.
大丈夫か？
穂村ちゃん、ありがとう。私なら大丈夫。ひばりが蛇女に来た時からこんな風になるような気はしてたし。
Her eyes are bright, but I can still see tears
そ
welling
れ
up.
よりもさっきの言葉気にならない？
ああ。
Yagyu's parting words hit the mark. Soon enough. What did she have in mind exactly? A sudden breeze blows up from the mine, forcing us to shield our eyes from the dust. After the wind dies down, Master Suzune appears out of nowhere. Her expression is unusually grim.
本部からの報告だ。
何かあったのですか？
半蔵学院に蛇女の城を占拠された。
Haruka and I are both speechless. Asuka and her friends are about as strong as we are, I can admit that. But Hibijo has a lot more students than just us. How could 5 people take the whole school?
奴らは蛇女の超秘伝忍法書を奪取し、それを利用したのだ。
I gasp at Master Suzune's words. If they used the scroll, that would mean...
現在、蛇女の生徒たちは皆凶暴化している。そのため、城は完全に無秩序になっているらしい。
I bite my lip. I don't know who at Hanzo cooked up their plan, but it's a nasty one.
そして半蔵側の要求は、
Our eyes lock onto Master
6
Suzune.
時間後、天守閣に超秘伝忍法書を持ってくること。こちらが要求を飲めば、城を解放すると言っている。
But to push the castle, there's got to be more to it than that. If we bring them Hanzo's scroll, they'll have both super secret ninja art scrolls. It's inevitable that we'll wind up fighting over them. Not to mention we won't be able to avoid fighting all the crazed Hibijo students while we're at it.
蛇女奪還は本部からの正式任務となった。
Master Suzune produces the Hanzo scroll from her cleavage.
今から5時間は自由行動とする。それまでおのおの準備を整えるがいい。
She doesn't bother to hide her concern, but I don't blame her. We have to fight our friends all the way to the castle keep, then fight Hanzo students for the super secret ninja art scrolls. There's a good chance at least one of us is about to die. We walk away from the mine in silence. It's up to me what to do with the next 5 hours, but honestly, I've got nowhere else to go. I don't have a home I can go back to or anyone to talk to, really. All I want to do in that moment is kill time, so I walk down to the shop district. It's bustling with patrons right now. I slip into the crowd, my mind a whirl. I strive for power. That's my path of the shinobi. And it's never wavered. Not since I first joined Habisha. The time I've spent among classmates, among friends, has changed something inside of me. Maybe that's why I've been at odds with Haruka. Once you start caring about your friends, you start fearing the thought of losing them. Fear inevitably leads to weakness, and what's good is a weak shinobi. Maybe that's why I've been so stubborn about keeping my friends at a distance. And now Haruka's taught me something. Friendship, strength are both important. It's true. I want to be the kind of person who cares about both equally. And when I think about that, I remember.
強くなるためなら仲間を犠牲にしてもいいの？忍びなら仲間も強さも大事にしなきゃダメだよ。
Asuka said the same thing to me. So, what's the real difference between good and evil shinobi? What are we even fighting for? Killing each other just because we have different bosses? It's so meaningless. If I'm going to fight them, I need a better reason than that. Here we are, right before the big showdown, and my thoughts are a goddamn mess. Turn toward the voice and see an old man standing there. It's the legendary shinobi we saw at the hot springs, Hanzo.
先日は温泉でいいものを拝ませてもらった。ごちそうさまじゃったの。
He brings his hands together and bows his head.
確か名前はほうまんな。
ホムラだ。
ああ、そうじゃ、ホムラ。ホーマンなおっぱいのホムラじゃった。
I don't have time for some rambling old pervert. I turn back around to
せっ
leave.
かくじゃ、寿司でも食べていかんか。
寿司？
He nudges me back.
おい。
He's deceptively strong for an old man. I wouldn't be able to fight him if I tried. He prods me along for a bit and eventually pushes me into a sushi restaurant. There are no other customers around. It must not be a very popular place.
流行ってないわけじゃないぞ。うちが混み出すのは夜9時からじゃ。
He puts me in a seat at the counter.
言っておくが、金はないぞ。
金なんかいらん。温泉でいいものを見せてもらったお礼じゃ。
He walks to the other side of the counter and washes his hands carefully.
さて、何を握ろうか。
では、旬のものを。
おお、2の言い方じゃ。こりゃ楽しめそうじゃの。
In a fashion entirely unbecoming a legendary shinobi, Hanzo's face splits into a cheerful grin. As he works on the sushi, I find myself staring at his hands. He certainly moves like a shinobi, with not a single movement wasted. Maybe a top-notch shinobi skills are peerless in any situation.
Ima, 大変なことになってるみたいじゃの。
It's obvious what he's talking about. Hands occupation of Hibijo.
ああ、大変な状態さ。それで私はあんたの孫を殺すかもしれない。そんな人間によく飯を出せるな。
I'm blunt about it, but Hanzo doesn't seem to react at all.
はいよ、お待ち。
He gives me an arrangement of seasonal fish. I can see how fresh they are. Then he sets up another plate just like it, putting it next to mine. There's still no other people around. I almost start to think it's for him when... Asuka bursts into the restaurant.
Asuka, お前、よくも蛇女の城を。
ここでやるつもり？
I stand up, Asuka drops into defensive stance.
待て！ここは衛星中立点じゃ。
So yeah, this is playing out exactly how it did in the Hanzo campaign, pretty much. You can see where we're like cross-secting now, essentially. My shoulders feel heavy for some reason. Then I realise Hanzo's put his hands on them. Like I said, there'll be a bit of dialogue changes, obviously, and different perspectives, essentially. I have no other choice but to drop back onto my seat.
戦場に行ったら戦う。寿司屋では寿司を食う。温泉ならばピチピチギャルを除く。TPO をわきまえ TPO。
ちっちゃん、温泉で覗きは余計だよ。
Despite her pouting, she sits down. Looks like even she won't dare defy him.
ほら、アスカも食べていき。
So the second dish is for her.
いただきます。
She gives me a fleeting glance and takes a bite. She and her friends just seized my home, and here I am eating sushi with her. What a sight we must
お
be.
前、城を占拠しているんじゃないのか。
そうだよ。だから食べ物を調達しに来たの。
なるほど。兵糧攻めという手もあるわけだ。
ダメだよ。ちゃんと来てくれないと。
She frowns and looks down.
それでちゃんと戦おうよ。だって私にはこうするしかなかったんだから。
She sets down her chopsticks and sighs. She looks troubled right down to her core. Looks like she and I are both lost in the fog again.
善人と悪人か。 何なんだろうな、一体。
I say the first words that pop into my head.
私もよくわからない。
She murmurs in response. We sit in silence, like we're having some kind of sushi-themed vigil.
どこかで誰かが笑えば、どこかで誰かが泣くものじゃ。
Hanzo speaks while pouring tea. We both turn to him without thinking. He has our undivided attention as we wait to see what he says next.
誰かが幸せになれば、誰かが不幸になったりする。それが人生というものじゃ。しかし、いつも同じ人が不幸で泣いていたら不公平になる。この世にはバランスってもんが必要なんじゃ。
Hanzo places a cup of steaming tea in front of each of us.
誰もが同じように笑うことができるように、そのバランスを取るために善人と悪人はある。わしはそう考える。だから善人と悪人は自分の道を信じてまっすぐに進めばよい。きっとそれが
誰かを幸せにするんだね。
At our interruption, Hanzo breaks into a smile. I've been sipping my tea the whole time he's been talking. The steam in my cup looks like a lake when the sun burns the fog away.
Asuka. 指定の時間に行く。城で待っていろ。
Asuka goes wide-eyed as I address her.
どっちが死んでも恨みっこなしだよ。
もちろんだ。
Hanzo gives a slight nod at our exchange. Coming here was the right thing to do. Or rather, if I hadn't come here, I don't think I would have known the right thing to do.
ごちそうさまでした。
As I leave my seat, Hanzo bears deeply.
また来いよ。
I don't answer, I just walk out. When I get outside, I look around and see that the sun has gone all the way down.
また来いよ。か。
I walk all the way back to the mine, where I hear a very flustered sounding
違い
voice.
ます。これはれっきとした料理です。
It's Yomi, and she's there with Hokage, Mirai, and Haruka. Everyone's gathered together around a lit fire pit.
あ、ホムラちゃん。
As soon as she sees me, Yomi rushes over with a pot.
ちょっとこれを食べていただけませんか。
It's full of disgusting brown slop.
私が摘んできた野草で作った特製スープです。
A close look reveals floating bits of red and black grass.
ヨミ、これを私に食べろというのか。
もちろんです。
She's scoops some into a ladle and moves towards me.
よせ、最後の戦いに参加できなくなる。
Mirai and Haruka burst into laughter at my panic. Hikage is as expressionless as ever while Yomi puffs out her cheeks at me. I feel oddly content. When my friends are around, my heart feels warm. We're all kind of like stray cats, betrayed, abandoned, and left to live on our own. But it's different now. We have friends. We may not be blood related, but we're still family. The moon shines down on us. It's almost time. Master Suzune stands up. We run over to her.
必ず奪われたものを
一つ約束だ。
She looks even more intense than usual.
死ぬな。私からは以上だ。
せやな。
わかりました。ええ。無理はしないわ。
As they finish their goodbyes, they gather around me. Unprompted, we form a circle.
私たちは必ず勝つ。
I reach a hand into the center of the circle.
そうやな。
そうね。
They each put a hand on top of mine. We lift our hands and look up to the night sky. The moon casts a gentle glow over all of us. The curtain is about to rise on the final battle. That's a cool CG, I do like that.
この声は。
大変だよ、ホムラ。ヘビシュのみんながあぶれてる。前に半蔵を攻めた時と同じ状態だよ。みんな凶暴化しちゃってる。
鈴音先生の報告の通りか。しかし学校だけではなくこんな場所でも暴れているなんて。
ホムラ、どうするの？どうしたらいいの？
覚悟は決めたはずだ。私たちはここで止まるわけにはいかない。未来、手加減はせず全力で戦え。それが同じ悪人たちへの礼儀だ。
分かったよ、ホムラ。
よし、行くぞ。
ユミ、鎮魂の夢に沈みましょう。任務開始。はいはいはい。眠りそこですか。はい、いてつけ。力がみなぎる。はいはい。いてつそこですか。はい。打たせていただきます。はい。はい。いてつけそこですか。打たせていただきます。その程度で止める気ですか。滅びなさい。邪魔をするなら打ち果たします。その間違い正してあげましょう。打線の力を置きなさい。逃がしません。体が熱い。させません。
There we go.
任務達成。私が正義です。
未来、立ち止まっている暇はないぞ。後悔はするな。お前が悔いていたら切られた者たちが浮かばれん。学校と超秘伝忍法書を奪い返すこと、それが切った者たちに対して報いることになる。
そうだね、分かったよ。
よし、では行くぞ。蛇女の城はもうすぐそこだ。
最高評価をいただき、強越至極に存じます。
I stand atop the castle, keep surveying the night sky. Small stars shimmer faintly above. Hamura and the others should start their attack soon. This will probably be the final battle. I could wind up killing Hamura, or she could wind up killing me. Either way, no regrets. Ever since I took on the shinobi named Asuka, I have no fear of death. And even now, while I'm staring down at this life or death battle, I understand something important. Life and death are two sides of the same coin. To die means that you've lived. It is in risking my life that I realise what it means to be alive. A pleasant night breeze caresses my cheek. I take a deep breath. I feel like every cell in my body is jumping. Alive. I am alive. I've had a very different life than the other girls. I didn't spend my time playing with friends or dating guys. I probably shouldn't expect to in the future if I have one. But it's okay. This is my youth. I choose this path. I don't regret any of it.
アスカさん。
I hear my name being called. I turn around to see Ikaruga, Kat, Yagyu, and
そ
Hibari.
ろそろ私たちは所定の位置で蛇女を迎え撃ちます。
Ikaruga's expression is utterly serious.
頼りにしてるね。
Ever since we first encountered Hibijo, Ikaruga seems distressed. Something to do with her family. But then she's never been very vocal about her feelings. She's always watched over us, never wavering for a moment. She may have told me that I'm the real leader, but when you get it right down to it, she seems more the type that I am by
こ
far.
の戦いを無事に終えたら、また私の料理を食べてくださいね。
Her cooking is rather unique, not exactly delicious, but unique. Even so, I want to eat it again. More than I want to eat it with everyone.
もちろん。
Ikaruga gives a little smile and jumps
それじゃ
downstairs.
あ、あたいも行くぜ。
Kat claps me light on the shoulder. Kat's always carefree and cheerful like a big sister. Not many people can lighten the mood with sexual harassment. Whenever someone talks about parents, though, whenever anyone talks about parents, she always looks kind of sad. I guess her family situation isn't all that great. If we make it through this alive, I should maybe ask her about it indirectly, of course. I doubt I could do that much, but I'd still like to be there for her to talk
カツ
to.
ネ、私が無事だったらまた。
その言葉で寿命が100年は伸びたぜ。安心しな。あたいは絶対に死なないさ。
With that, Kat leaps down from the roof.
ヤギュウちゃん、ひばりちゃん。
I've saved them for last. They both look
こ
nervous.
んな危険な任務になったのは、ひばりが誰かに操られて超秘伝忍法書を持ち出しちゃったからなんだよね。
いや、気にすることはない。ひばりを操っていたのは術の種類からしてかなり使い手のはずだ。ひばりじゃなくても誰かが操られていただろう。
And whoever that someone is must be a Hibijo. Hamura denied any knowledge of it though. So who did pull her
も
strings?
し
どうしても気に病むのなら。
ありがとう。そうだね、まずは今を頑張ることだね。
No matter what's going on, Yagyu is always looking after Hibari. When Hibari isn't falling over, Yagyu is always working hard to become stronger. The two of them really do have a great relationship.
ヒバリ、これからは別々の場所でヘビ状を待つことになるが。
大丈夫だよ、ヤギュウちゃん。ヒバリ、必ず勝つから。
Hibari pumps a fist. Yagyu smiles a bit at the sight. They take one last look at each other, then walk off in opposite directions. Finally, I'm the only one left at the castle keep.
みんな、いい顔してたな。
Ikaruga, Kat, Yagyu, Hibari, my teammates and my dearest friends. I don't want to lose any of them. I want to see them all safe
そ
again.
のためには、まず、私が生き残ることだね。
I smile as I say that to myself.
その通りだ。
I sense her presence. Keeping as outwardly calm as I can, I slowly turn to face her. The wind tosses her long black hair back and forth. I can sense her overwhelming will to fight, even to murder. It soaks through her tanned skin like sweat.
アスカ、来たぞ。
She studies my face and then gives a thin lip smile.
いい顔をしているな。
それは私のセリフだよ。
持ってきたぞ。
私も。
She pulls out Hanzo Academy's super secret ninja art scroll. I pull out Hibijo's super secret ninja art
も
scroll.
ちろん、これはただでは渡せない。
Hamura replaces the scroll in her cleavage. I grin at her into the
そう
same.
だよね。
I clear my mind. Hamura is very strong. Every time we fought so far, she's pushed me to my limits. The odds aren't exactly in my favor here. That's why I have to have one more scroll in my cleavage. For this battle, the school has entrusted me with its trump card. Our second super secret ninja art scroll, the Scroll of Yin. An unskilled shinobi could die just trying to use it. I'm not sure I can handle it, honestly. But if I want to stand toe-to-toe against Hamura, I don't see any other choice. I take my stance, preparing to draw my twin blades. I'm going to give this first strike everything I've got.
ホムラちゃん、勝負だよ。
まさか最後の戦いをお前とすることになるとはな。温泉で初めて会った時はどこにでもいる普通の子に見えたのに。
ホムラちゃん、私はどこにでもいる普通の子だよ。そりゃ伝説の忍びの孫かもしれないけど、私には特別な才能なんて何もないし、だから私はたくさん修行したの。それでホムラちゃんともなんとか戦えるようになったんだよ。
そうか。
私が辛い修行を頑張れたのは大切な友達が支えてくれたから。仲間がいたからこそ私はここまで来れたの。
昔の私なら鼻で笑う話だが、今ならその気持ちも理解できる。お互い負けられないな、仲間のために。ではいざ尋常に
勝負。
Break into Hibijo.
ユミ、新婚の夢に沈みましょう。
耐え忍びます。
Let's
いざ
do this.
鎮魂の夢に舞い散れ。その程度ですか。これが私の正義です。打線の力を受けなさい。お別れですよね。許しません。逃がしません。させません。これが私の正義です。打線の力を受けなさい。滅びなさい。打線の力を受けなさい。これでどうだ。させません。これが私の正義。打線の力を受けなさい。これが私の正義。邪魔をするなら打ち果たす。これが私の正義。打線の力を受けなさい。悔しい。決着。私が正義です。やっぱりこのままじゃ。
逃げた。いや、逃げるわけがない。戦っている最中に妙な力の気配を感じた。アスカはまだ奥の手を隠しているに違いない。いいだろう。ならば待ってやる。そしてお前の切り札を見せてみろ。
最高評価をいただき、恐悦至極に存じます。イカルガさん、ヨミさん、とうとうこの時が来たようですね。ええ。せっかくできた友達と殺し合うなんて。忍びとは因果なものです。でも忍びだったから私はイカルガさんと出会えました。忍びだったからこそイカルガさんと理解し合えたのです。ええ、私もそう思います。もしイカルガさんと出会わなかったら私はずっと誰かを恨んでいたことでしょう。イカルガさん、友達になってくれてありがとう。お礼を言うのは私の方です。知っての通り私は幼女です。自分の意志で忍びの道を選んだわけではありません。ですから忍びになるのは私にとっては使命で、そこに喜びを見出そうと思ったことはなかったのです。でも私今初めて忍びになった喜びを感じています。だってヨミさんと分かり合えたのですから。こんなに嬉しいことはありません。それではそろそろ参りましょうか。ええ、怒りが正義のために舞い忍びましょう。ヨミ、悪の定めに舞い順じます。
ユン、鎮魂の夢に沈みましょう。イカルが舞し、いざ鎮魂の夢に舞い散れ。やっ甘く見ていました。とどめ。みなぎる。打たせ力がみなぎる。おった。打たせていただきます。打たせておしまいです。とどめ。おった。おった。おった。おった。逃がしません。お別れですね。そこでお別れですね。これで終わりです。飛燕応戦一式。その町が正しさにこれで終わりです。食らいなさい。滅びなさい。私の力を受けなさい。邪魔をするなら打ち果たします。これが私の正義だ。こんなはずだよ。
She done.
無様ですね。骨です。決着。私が正義です。イカルガさん、大丈夫ですか？ええ。でも、もう戦うのは無理。私の負けです。ユミさん、あなたの勝負への執念、見事でした。そんな、私が。なんですの、これ。ユミさん？これは一体。高評価をいただき、強越至極に存じます。
やっぱりあんたか。
日陰だよな。
そうや、もう忘れたんかいな。
いや、なんつうか雰囲気が変わった感じがするぜ。
そうか？
この間までお地蔵さんみたいだったのに、今はなんだかすっきりした顔してるぜ。
そんなもんかの。自分ではようわからんがな。ただ今のわしはあんたとすごく戦いたい気分なんや。
おお、そいつはいいや。だったら全力で戦いを楽しめそうだな。
そういうことや。
よっしゃ、厚木、正義のために舞い忍ぶぜ。
日陰、悪の定めに舞い順じる。
Settle the score with Katsuragi.
ユミ、いざ鎮魂の夢に舞い散れ。甘く見ていました。力が
みなき打たせてよ力がファー技ありその間違い正してあげます打線の力を受けなさい滅びなさい打線の力を受けなさい滅びなさい打線の力を受けなさい滅びなさい邪魔をするなら打ち今のは消えたっていくぜわかりあっぶねその間違い正してあげます打線の力を受けなさい滅びな頂戴します
Done.
無様ですね決着
God, Katsuragi screams mortifying.
私が正義です
負けたのかあたいが
そうやな。けど紙一重のいい勝負やったで。
いやいやあたいはまだやれる
いや無理やろ。ひどい怪我してるやないか。
無理じゃない無理を通せば負けが引っ込む
そんな無茶苦茶な。だから無理やって言ってるやろ。ほんまにしょうがないやつやな。
おい日陰
ん？どないしたん？
お前笑ってるぞ
え？わしが笑ってる？
本当だ嘘じゃないぞあくそ鏡でもあればな
大丈夫や。鏡を見んでもわかる。だってこんなに楽しい気分なんや。顔も
Oh,
笑ってるに
Hikage
決まっ
finally
てるはずや。
smiled.
桂木。あんたのおかげや。あんたとの勝負本当に楽しかった。命のやりとりやったのに楽しかった。
あたいもだあんたのクールな戦いっぷり見事だったぜ
やっと笑えたんや。わしの笑顔みんなに見せてやりたいの。なんやこれ。
日陰何がどうなってんだ
最高評価をいただき強越至極に存じます。貴様か。
また無視？でも別に気にしないけど、私は私の仕事をするだけ。
今度は前のように見逃したりはしないぞ。
それはどう思う？一つ正直に言っていい？
なんだ？
あんたは私のことを無視しないでちゃんと戦ってくれた。あんたは敵だけど嫌いじゃないよ。
大切なものを守りたいという気持ちには善も悪もない。俺はそう考える。
じゃあ やろっか。お互いの大切なものを守るために。
ああ、柳生、正義のために舞い忍ぶ。
未来、悪の定めに舞い準じる。
ユミ、鎮魂の夢に沈みましょう。
柳生、舞い忍ぶ。
いざ鎮魂の夢に舞い散れ。
はいはっうっさい。
やる。打たせていただきます。
はいはっ
力をさせるか。
まさか。
技ありさせるか。
させるか。
逃がしません。滅びなさい。誰の力を受けなさい。
片付ける。なぎ払うわ。
その程度ですか。
必殺する。なぎ払うわ。片付ける。
これが私の正義。
なぎ払うわ。
させるか。これが私の正義。誰の力を受けなさい。滅びなさい。誰の力を受けなさい。
させるか。
邪魔をするなら打ち果たし、その間違い正してあげましょう。暗いですね。無様でしたね。
したか。
決着。私が正義です。
バカな。俺が負けるなんて信じられん。
私が勝った。勝ったんだ。
とどめだ。俺にとどめをさせ。
そんなの嫌だよ。
とどめを刺さなければ俺はお前を追いかけ回す。そしてまた戦いを挑むだろう。それでもいいのか。危険な目は詰める時につまんだ。それが忍びとして生きていく鉄則だ。
だから嫌だって言ってるでしょ。いいよ、戦いを挑んできて。むしろ大歓迎だよ。私はずっと人から無視されてきたんだから、追いかけ回されるなんてすごいハッピーなんですけど。だいたいあんた私を一回見逃してくれてるじゃん。これでおあいこだよ。
そうか。未来、この勝負完全にお前の勝ちだ。未来、今のは一体。
最高評価をいただき、恐悦至極に存じます。
はるかさん。
ひばり、また会えたわね。で、覚えてないわよね、ヘビジョにいた時のことは。
そんなことないよ。ぼんやりとだけど覚えてる。
え？
もしかしたらひばりにかけられた術って心の中にあった願望とかを刺激するものだったのかも。だってひばり温泉で会った時からヘビジョのみんなとも友達になりたいと思っていたから。
そうだったの。
それでひばりは特にはるかさんと仲良くなりたかったの。だって初めて戦った時、はるかさんはひばりのこと殺すって言ったでしょ。
ええ。
変に思うかもしれないけど、ひばり殺すって言われて嬉しかったんだ。それってひばりを一人前の忍びとして見てくれていたからでしょ。ひばり子供扱いされることが多いから、はるかさんの言葉にすごく励まされたんだよ。あの時の勝負は負けちゃったけどね。
そっか。それじゃあ今度も同じことを言わなくちゃダメね。ひばり、邪魔をするなら殺す。
望むところだよ、はるかさん。今度は絶対に負けないから。ひばり、正義のために舞い忍んじゃう。
何度やっても結果は同じよ。はるか、悪の定めに舞い順じちゃう。
ユミ、鎮魂の夢に沈みましょう。
ひばり、舞い忍びます。
いざ鎮魂の夢に舞い散れ。
Let me just pause a minute.
休息は十分です。技あり。滅びなさい。螺旋の力を受けなさい。行くよ。これが私の正義。私の力をご覧ください。休息は十分だ。させません。させません。その間違い正しい。螺旋の力を受けなさい。邪魔をするのはうちの話。滅びなさい。大きく遊べなさい。
Oh, my battery's low. I best charge up.
お別れですね。危ない。これはどうですか。もう一回。無様ですね。もう一回。決着。私が正義です。
また負けちゃった。
残念だったわね。それじゃ今度はとどめを刺させてもらうわ。ひばり、覚悟。
どこも切れてない。
切ったのは私の未練。ひばりへの未練を断ち切ったのよ。私ひばりのことは諦めるから。もう転校しておいでなんて言わない。だからひばりも半蔵で頑張るのよ。
はるかさん。そんな、はるかさんが消えちゃった。
最高評価をいただき、強越至極に存じます。
ヨミ、日陰、未来、あれか。
In desperation, I call each of their names, but no one answers. No matter how many times I yell, it's no use. My friends have faded away like fog in sunlight. I run around the entire castle, but there's no sign of them. Where the hell did they go?
Omura! どうした?
That investor Dogan appears out of nowhere. He must have been hiding in the castle. When I tell him about my friend's disappearance, his lips twist into a razor-thin smile.
いよいよだな。
貴様、何か知ってるな。
I draw my sword and level it at Dogan, but he doesn't even flinch. I always knew he was no ordinary businessman.
まあいい。お前には教えてやろう。
He produces a rolled-up scroll from his breast pocket.
忍びの世界に古くから伝わるものだ。
He unfurls the scroll, revealing a drawing of one hell of a monster. Its name is Orochi. Apparently it's been nesting in this castle since the 1500s.
オロチを復活させ、我がものとする。それが私の目的だ。
At that, Dogan vanishes into thin air. I turn around to find him behind me.
私はこう見えても忍びだ。
He ignores my look of surprise and opens the scroll further.
この巻物によると、オロチを復活させるにはいくつか必要なものがあった。
According to this, Orochis require specific ingredients.
それが何だかわかるか?
His lips curl.
まずは日本の超秘伝忍法書。そして忍びとして優秀な少女の肉体だ。
I reel in horror. Their flesh. No, it can't be. Did he sacrifice my friends to a demon?
貴様、そんなことのために私の仲間を。
His eyes widen.
そんなこと? オロチの一部になるということは究極の力を手に入れるのと同義だぞ。だったら本望ではないか。強さを求める、それこそが忍びのはずだ。
That's what being a shinobi is all about. He's got to be kidding. No one becomes a shinobi to become part of a monster. My heart pounds a violent drumbeat in my chest. The sword in my hand trembles. Dogen speaks proudly of how he hypnotized Habara and manipulated her into indirectly helping him revive Orochi. Sounds like this whole business with the scrolls is exactly as he'd hoped it would. But at this point I don't care what his reasons are. I can barely even hear him anymore. I'm so furious. My blood is hammering in my ears. He won't get away with this. Habijo executive investor or not, he has to pay.
さあ、オロチの復活は近い。生贄はおそらくあと一人で十分だ。さあ、ホムラよ、戦え。戦ってオロチの血肉になれ。そうすればお前が望んでいた最強が手に入るのだ。
His laugh is loud and uproarious. Ride him till I brandish my sword.
そんな最強、願い下げだ。
A gout of blood flies upwards. Dogen splits in two, like halves roll like logs at my feet. I've killed someone very important to Habijo. For damn good reasons, but it's still a serious crime. That done, I can't turn back now. I have no regrets, I did what I had to do. Anything to stop Orochi from coming back. Intense aura flares up out of nowhere. I look up at the castle keep. On the roof is a hazy silhouette. Ask her, she's waiting for me to settle things for good. But we're both gifted shinobi, and if either of us dies now, Orochi could take its final sacrifice. What should I do? If I tell Asuka what's happening, could we call it a ceasefire? At the sound of her voice, my whole body trembles. She's so intense, the earth is practically shaking. I can sense the magnitude of her fighting spirit. It's like she's a completely different person.
なんだこれは。
What is happening? What could she have done to grow this strong in the last few minutes? Whatever she did, it's too dangerous. Human bodies can't take this power surge.
アスカ、お前は一体。
I have a bad feeling about this, but I head for the castle keep regardless.
Asuka, お前何をしたんだ。
ムラちゃんと対等に戦うためだよ。陰の超秘伝忍法書の力を解放したの。
陰の超秘伝忍法書。
最後の戦いのために学校から託されたの。私の力は今何倍にもなってるはずだよ。
しかしアスカ、お前それでは。
私ね、初めて会った時からホムラちゃんのことをかっこいい人だなって思ってたんだ。自信たっぷりで颯爽としていて、なんか私とは違うっていうか、さっき仲間がいたからここまで来れたって言ったでしょ。本当は仲間だけじゃない、ホムラちゃんもいたから私はここまで来れたんだよ。ホムラちゃんは私にとって最強の友達なの。さあやろう。今度は簡単にはやられないよ。
言えないな。これほどの覚悟を持った者に停戦の申し出など失礼だ。アスカ、私も同じ気持ちだ。私にとってお前は最強の友達だ。
ホムラちゃん、
行くぞ。今なら使えるはずだ。この背中の7本目の太刀が。
Maybe our final battle, and we got the main theme from the game playing in the background. And of course we have our superpowered version. We've done this before. You see what I mean with the game crossing over? I love this form so much, by the way. It's so good. The moveset is a bit wacky though. I can never get used to it. Anyway, we're going to be fighting Asuka until we get it. Hopefully I can just like keep teaming her up with the freeze over and over again. Hopefully anyway. There we go. Slowly hitting her. Slowly but surely. It might be best to do aerial raid actually. Problem is with this attack, it's very underwhelming because like you only have one particular moveset really. There's no extra level of wrinkle or depth to it. It's got a cool AoE though. She's almost done. Slowly. Like peeling orange. This takes a while. We're almost there. Almost. Come on. Got her. There we go. There we go. Nicely done.
私が正義です。
私の勝ちだ。
待って、ホムラちゃん。私はまだ。
This is my first playthrough. I've actually done it before. I'm just playing through it again. I never archived it before though. Until now. That's why I'm streaming this, essentially. Like, I've streamed them in the past, but I've never archived them, so... Have I played the others? Also, welcome to the stream, by the way. We're pretty much at the end of the Hibijo arc. I've played Estival Versus. I've played Peach Beach Splash. I've played Deep Crimson. Is it the 3DS one, the sequel? You know something? Deep Crimson needs to be remastered, actually, because it's only on 3DS. I mean, I could stream it on PC. I do have Citra, but like it runs kind of like it runs alright, but then some stages just slow down horribly. I don't know if it's my hardware or if the 3DS file for it is a bit you know. It is a good sequel. Probably my favorite game in the series. I've got many stories of me playing it on the bus, many a time, and I had all the DLC for it too. I like the fact that there's a DLC in the game that lets you adjust boob size, which is awesome. So you get an extra wrinkle of customization. I was a bit disappointed when I played Estival Versus and found out that like the boob size modifier in Deep Crimson is not present in Estival, which is a bit of a shame. Feels like a step backward, really, in some cases. You got into the series to originally make fun of it. That's pretty funny. I was sold when I just heard Big Titty Ninjas, to be honest, and ever since then I've been on board with it. So, kind of. You could pick different sizes of the boobs in Deep Crimson for each character, and each of them were like different sizes. You had flat, apple. Actually, let me think of the sizes. It went in this order of like fruits, but it had flat, and then it went with cherry, apple, peach, and then like melons. The story's good, yeah. It's genuinely great. That's the funniest part about it, though. Like, it's unashamedly unapologetic about its fan serviceness, I guess. But it oh man, there's a raiding party. That's awesome. Thank you for the raid, Evil Ned TV. I know. I was titillated, quote unquote, when I first had it. I was like, "Oh, brilliant! I can." But the funniest thing is, when I beat the game, I was like, "I can give Mirai big boobs now." That was a thing. I could finally let Mirai have her wish granted, and let her have big booba. So, yeah, the puns are never ending. It's beautiful, and I love every second of it. But when you get past the titillating tits and the fan service, the story's really solid. Like, if you was to take all that out, the story still holds up anyway. So it's brilliant. But I love the fact that you get it. It's like it's like a what's the name? It's like a double-sided Oreo. You know, you're getting like not just cream but good biscuit too. So. It's that kind of thing. Yeah, exactly. They are the cherries on top, literally. They're the cherries on top of the cake, which is just fantastic. I love it when games do stuff like this. I have a bit of a soft spot for the Oni-Chanbara as well. I feel like Oni-Chanbara does the same kind of thing, but it does it with a lower budget. They don't have nice budget like Senran Kagura does, if you know what I mean. Oh god, yeah. Burst Renewal does. It feels more refined. I tried to play the oh, thank you for the follow. Big ups. I tried to play the original on my 3DS, the 2D side-scrolly. I like it as a commodity, but like Burst Renewal is so much better in a lot of ways. Just in general, really. Not just because of the combat, but like how fluid it is, and I mean it's a little clunky sometimes, but like that adds to the charm, if anything else. But yeah, I feel the same way with the Oni-Chanbara series too. Oni-Chanbara is kind of like that, but like the difference is it's more low budget. Originally, the series started as a low budget series as well, if I recall. Back when they made those low budget PS2 games, because it was called Bikini Slayers or Bikini Samurai or something like that. Simple 2000, yeah, that's it. Simple 2000, the same line of games that made the Earth Defense Force Series 2. Those started off as Simple 2000 as well. Yep, Zombie Hunter was the OG. Yeah, yeah. There was also a weird one I played where you had a helicopter and you had to like stop this model who, I don't know what happened. I think she drank something or she was injected with something and she went on like a giant Godzilla rampage. She's like a bikini model and you had to like fly this helicopter and like basically try and stun her and stuff. That was a really weird one. I can't remember the name of it now though. It might have been like Giant Bikini Girl or something stupid like that, but yeah, you remember that. Disaster, that's the one. Yeah, Disaster Report. I remember that shit. That was awesome. I wish I could play that on my PS4, you know? Because the PS2 section's there, and I'm like, where's the Simple 2000 series, man? We need that shit on there. What else? What other games that were fan servicey that I used to love playing back then? Rumble Roses was another one. That wasn't Simple 2000 though, was it? It was made by a wrestling game company who had an engine from an old wrestling game and were like, let's put scantily clad women in it wrestling. So yes, it is the GOAT. I wish that series would come back in some way. They'd give like the other wrestling games a run for their money and more so. Although, to be fair, at the same time, with the current climate these days, especially over in the West, I think a lot of people wouldn't get it, quote unquote. And, I mean, you look what happened to DOA. DOA Volleyball was supposed to have a release over in the West, the latest edition, but apparently they were too cautious over Western sentiments over it. I wouldn't have minded. I loved. Yeah, they do. They do ruin everything. They butchered this game in some capacity as well. There's no intimacy mode, unfortunately, which kind of sucks. If I want to play intimacy mode with anything, I have to go to Estival Versus for that, or just load up my 3DS and just play Deep Crimson and do the do the intimacy mode with the touchscreen. So. There's also a Neptunia crossover game with this series, which I've not played, but I do have it installed. I'm going to be getting round to that when I get the chance to. I haven't played Peach Ball, no. Is that PC only? I'm assuming it's PC. Didn't they do like a Switch game as well with haptic feedback and stuff too? For Senran Kagura. I heard it was fun, but I heard it was technically a tech demo, really. PC and Switch. Okay. It's super addictive. I could have sworn they made a Senran Kagura game with food as well. I could be wrong though. Maybe I'm thinking of some other anime cooking game that had a ton of fan service in it. My mind tends to muddle when fan service is like thrown into the mix. It's a little barren in content. It scratches the pinball and booba itch. That's good. So it's basically pinball. That's Pokemon pinball, but with booba. I like that. But yeah, I mean, I genuinely like these games. Yeah, they do. They set that bar really high, don't they? I think Neptunia kind of does a good job of it too, depending on what game you're playing of them. I'd say that Mega Dimension Neptunia V2 has the best fan service out of all of the Neptunia games. I've not played all of them though, so you know, that's the one that I know most of. Yeah, Neptunia is a cute series. I did want to play the RPG one, but like the graphic style put me off a little bit for that. That's not really my kind of jam. But I do like Neptunia V2. I also like the Four Goddesses online game, but those are the only Neptunia games I've really played. Apart from the Senran Kagura crossover, which I'll eventually get to. Oh, I also played Neptunia Virtual Stars. I couldn't get into that for love nor money either. I hated navigating in that game so much. Also, it had the VTuber thing going for it, and like I didn't really recognize many VTubers in it. The only one that I recognized was Kazuna, really, and that was the only one. So, you like our JRPGs as well. What do you think of the Tales of series? I hear those games are very highly regarded. I like Tales of Berseria, and Tales of Eternia is still my favourite Tales of game to this day. Nothing's ever going to touch that in terms of like storytelling. I'm also glad it's one of those Tales of games they never bastardized with like another sequel or whatever. I hated that so much when they did that with Zillia. I was like, why have you got to sequelize it? They did that with Symphonia as well, and they ruined it. You know nothing about VTubers. Me neither, says the guy with a VTuber model as his PFP. I haven't played the Megami Tensei series. I hear it's very tough though. I've got to read now, by the way. I'm falling deeper and deeper into an abyss. Then I splash some kind of jelly. It engulfs my whole body. I keep sinking into it like I'm being swallowed. Oh, we're getting a bit of vor in here. Did I die? No, that's not it. I'm being swallowed. Orochi's yeah, we're getting some vor in here. We're crushing fetishes now a little bit. The stench of decay hits my nose. Oh yeah, definitely vor. My eyes flutter open. Everything around me is red. That's pretty cool. If I ever get into the series, I'll have to give them a whirl. It's like the Persona games as well. Lots of people say that the later games are good, and like, I've never gone beyond Persona 2, so I've got 3, 4, and like 5 to do, but I don't think I'll ever get round to them. Probably with some JRPGs, some of them tend to be very grindy sometimes. When I'm streaming these days, I like things to be a bit too streamlined. Especially if I don't want to spend an entire stream grinding, for example, you know. SMT3 Remaster's a good start. Is this what Orochi's insides look like? I'm getting like Lord Jabu Jabu vibes right now from like Ocarina of Time. My mind is fading. I can barely feel my body. If this keeps up, that thing will absorb me completely, body and soul. I thrust my sword through the barrier of flesh in front of me. Blood spurts from the pulsating arteries. As I lean on my sword for balance, a huge explosion assaults my ears. I hear a rumbling voice, the flesh around me shifts and squirms.
オロチが復活したのか
All I can do now is put my faith in Asuka. No matter how much I struggle, I can't help from in here. Oh, this bit of the story is really metal. In the midst of all my despair, a strange feeling sparks inside of me, nostalgia.
まさかこの感じは
Yome, Hikage, Mirai, Haruka. No doubt I can sense them. They're alive. All four of them are alive. They're somewhere in Orochi's body. I have to save them now. Strength flows back into my exhausted body. A ray of hope cuts through the darkness. If my friends are there, I can stand back up, no matter how many times I fall. This is power. I can finally know what it means to be strong. I don't know why, as soon as I saw the word power, I just had Virgil flash up in my head. I grip my sword and run towards the source of that feeling. First thing I did, by the way, one of the times I played this, I customized Ikaruga to look like Virgil from like DMC3.
みんな今行くぞ
As best as I could, anyway. You know what these games need? A color slider for clothing and stuff too. Having multiple colors on a slider would just be amazing. Fire at death's door. Reminds me of the Leviathan level from DMC3 a little, when you get swallowed by it. Very similar. And yes, I'm playing as Yumi because why not, you know. Customized her a bit differently. The game doesn't switch around to the characters for the stage anymore, so I just figured Yumi would be fun to play as. Plus I like her moveset a lot. Plus I can just combo chain everything and freeze everything to death. Reminds me of Majora's Mask actually now with the tree and on the moon.
Yumi
I don't know if that's intentional.
ほむらちゃんなんか私変です
You said the same thing, like Majora's Mask with the tree, yeah. Very similar. I love Majora's Mask, by the way.
ユミしっかりしろ
Prefer the original though. The 3DS version is so butchered. It's a fun remake though, kind of. If you can look past the problems.
迷いのない憎しみでこんなにも心が
Yes, Yomi now has serpent eyes.
ほむらちゃんもこっちに来てくださいきっと
Yeah, it was.
心が楽になりますよ
Don't think we're ever going to get an era like that again, to be honest.
オ
And
ロチに体を乗っ取られたのか
I'm one of those people that do not like the Breath of the Wild direction that they've taken the Zelda series. I know I'm probably going to get a shit ton of hate for that, but I don't care. I prefer the formulaic layout where you get said item in dungeon and you clear said dungeon with that item, and then refer to it back in like later temples or whatever. Essentially, each item is kind of like a notch on your belt of skills, and just making everything open world just kind of just put me off really badly.
待ってろユミ今すぐ助けてやるお前は憎しみだけに心を奪われる女じゃない
No, I don't think it's as. No, I don't say it's as good as I remember, because then people are gonna be like, "Oh, nostalgia goggles," but like, I just like the formulaic layout more than open-worlded layout for that. Hi. I wish we could play as this version of Yomi. Keep hitting me so I can use my special. Thank you. You're done. Yes, red titty Yomi.
気にすることはない。とりあえずここで休んでいろ。私は他の仲間を助け出す。
はい。みんなをお願いします。
We're not done just yet. Still more to go. Like how we're in pink mode now since I switched over. I'm gonna see if I can get finish on everybody. If that's possible.
日陰、無事か。
小村さん、なんかわしおかしいんや。わしには感情がないはずやのに、心をざわつかせるもんが体に入ってくるんや。これは怒り、これは憎しみ。嫌や、こんな感情嫌や。こんな感情なら欲しくない。
日陰。
なるほど、これが感情っちゅうもんか。こいつはいいもんや。何もかもぶっ壊し、誰も彼を傷つけた。そんな最高の気分や。
日陰。感情っていうのは怒りや憎しみだけじゃない。
Yes,
今
there
の
is.
お前ならそのことがわかるはずだ。待っていろ。私がお前を元に戻してやる。
前順次最終戦勝負。その間違い正してあげましょう。風の力を受けなさい。させません。その間違いを正してあげましょう。黒ひょ
Yeah, she is ridiculously OP. She can just chain freeze everything. And then you've got the one attack where, well, it's an ability actually. Her attack increases after every hit, so the damage she does is like ridiculous. And then you got shit like this. Stripping time. Red Titty Hikage. I can't remember now. I don't think these I don't think there's a skin for these. I wish this like these versions of them were like an option. To be honest.
日陰よかった
穂村さんが助けてくれたんやな
I'd love to play as each possessed character. That'd be fun.
私だけの力じゃない感情とは怒りや憎しみだけじゃないそれを今の日陰は知っているだからオロチの呪縛に負けなかったんだ
そうなんかいやそうならほんまに
I mean, I'm that guy that's always picking like ultimate costumes and stuff in fighting games.
日陰はここで待っていてくれ
分かった二人を頼むわ
I remember hearing about the Revenant skins in like Mortal Kombat, and I was like, those sound really cool. They're basically like undead versions of the main cast. Injustice 1 kind of had a similar thing as well with like zombie mode. That was a thing. Oh god, yeah, in their forms. Who's your least favourite to play as, out of curiosity, based on like moveset, and who do you think feels like a chore to play, I guess? I'm gonna laugh now if you pick the one that I'm thinking of. Because everyone's got like their favourites, but then there's always that one character that you're just not too enthralled with moveset wise.
なんか私おかしいんだすごく変な気持ちが体に入ってくるっていうか
未来しっかりしろオロチに乗っ取られるな
You've got one of my options, one of my choices. Yeah, I don't like playing as Mirai either. Don't get me wrong, the character's great, but like, I'm not too keen on the moveset either, no. Oh, you mean Yagyu you're thinking of? I don't mind Yagyu. I'd rather play as Yagyu than Mirai any day of the week. You know, it's really funny, the fact that we've like both picked out eye patch girls.
本当の力を手に入れたお前は
Yeah.
いじめのくだらなさを知っているはずだ
I guess we're not too big on the eye patch waifus.
その力の使い道をすぐに思い出させてやる
Yeah, she's a bit. Oh god, yeah, she is. We're about to find that out again, actually. She turns the game into a bullet hell shooter, pretty much, which is kind of cool, I guess. But I can just do this shit all over again. Where'd she go? Oh. There she is. She's blending into the background, she's camouflaged. Some of these sound effects. Oh, Daidoji. I love Daidoji so freaking much. She's done. Yeah, she is. Genuinely great. Suzanu's a good one too. I enjoy playing as her. I hope they make another Senran Kagura game one day where we get to play as Hanzo. I want to be able to play as like Big Daddy Grandpa Hanzo. and see how good his moves are. We hear about how badass he is all the time, though. I just want to see that one day. Oh yeah, wasn't there a elderly woman in Estival Versus that had the same kind of energy, but she'd like turn youthful in her transformation now? I can't remember her name now though. She was quite fun. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Jasmine, that's it. That's it, yeah, Jasmine was awesome. Such a great character.
もっともっと強くなれ。分かったよ、ホムラ。
She gets down.
あと見つかっていないのははるかだけだ。
I literally like bought Peach Splash because I heard that Ryoki becomes a DJ. And I played it, and when I got to like the DJ Ryoki part, I was like really happy with it. I just like hearing her say, "Put your hands up." It's just brilliant. Also, Hikage raps in that game too. Peach Splash is a lot of fun. It's so off track that I can't help but love it. Oh sure, man. Definitely. I'll definitely catch you around sometime. You have a good one. Are you also playing Peach? Good. Hope you enjoy it. It's really good. Neptune's in the game too as DLC, so you have a good night anyway. Probably going to be going to bed myself actually after I'm done with this actually. I mean, I've got the DLC character campaigns to do, but I'll probably do those later down the line. Who's next now? Would it be... We've already done Yomu, we've done Hikage, we've done Mirai. Either Haruka or... It'd be Haruka, wouldn't it? Haruka would be the last one. Yep, we have to do Haruka. You too. Pleasure talking to you.
間に合わなかったか。はるか。どうした？はるか、しっかりしろ。
私は人形。何も考えない操り人形。目に映るものを殺す。ただそれだけの人形。
はるか、お前は人形なんかじゃない。情に熱くて仲間を大事にする人間だ。待っていろ。すぐに私が人間に戻してやる。
はるか、大順術。
No, that's awesome.
最終戦勝負。悪いとね。ふっしっしゃせっはい気持ちいいはいしゃその間違い正してあげましょう。打線の力を受けなさい。悪いとね。私のせい。くどくどこれが私のせい。打線の力を受けなさい。ふっしっつけてあげる。これが私のせい。ほら打線の力を受けなさい。押し寄せよ。その間違い正してあげましょう。打線の力を受けなさい。押し寄せよ。これが私のせい。ほら黒々悪い生意気な子ね。
私どうしてたの？
やったぞ。これで全員助け出した。
ホムラちゃん大丈夫？
気にするな。なんてことはない。
人形になった私なんか放っておいてもよかったのに。
バカを言うな。仲間の大切さを教えてくれたお前をどうして見捨てることができる？
ホムラちゃん。
どうだオロチ、私は守ったぞ。仲間も強さも。
With a dying cry, the red world around me melts away. In its place, I see the dazzling radiance of the morning sun. Orochi's tattered body and all its hatred with it blows away on the wind. I stand on top of the mountain of rubble, gripping the Hibijo super secret ninja art
終
scroll.
わったんだ。何もかも。
I let out a long, slow breath, and the last of my strength gives out. As I'm about to fall over, I feel a warm hand supporting me. Mirai covered in mud and looking ragged.
ホムラさん。
ホムラちゃん。
No, not just Mirai. Yomi, Hikage, Haruka, everyone's here. My dear friends, they're all here. Thank goodness. I really did it. I protected my friends.
さて帰りましょうと言いたいところだけど、これじゃあ帰る場所がないわね。
Haruka surveys the ruins of the castle. Yeah, they don't have a home anymore, so they go, like, basically, they kind of become Ronin at this point, like, exploring and sort of traveling, which is what they do in Deep Crimson, somewhat.
ヘビ女の本部にみんなで行きましょうか。
The others nod and start to walk in the direction of the HQ, but I stay planted where I am. Mirai tilts her head and looks back at me.
すまない。私はいけない。
They all give me quizzical looks.
お前たちがオロチに取り込まれたのは道元の企みだったんだ。私はもう
Mirai squeaks in
ヘビ女
astonishment.
には戻れない。お前たちだけで言ってくれ。
This is where they become Crimson Squad, essentially. It's amazing. Also, I love the fact that you could get the Crimson Squad outfit for Haruka in this game. I turn my face away, I don't want them to see me looking so sad.
ホムラ、水臭いこと言わないでよ。
I look up and there they all are, standing with me.
私たちはみんな一緒だよ。
Mirai takes hold of my hand. Her tiny palm feels almost electric in
問
mine.
題はこれからやな。
隠れ家ならいい場所があります。そこは無産大通りと言いまして。
Unemployment
いっ
Street.
そのこと半蔵に行っちゃうってのはどう？
上秘伝民法書もあるし、私たちが新しくヘビ女学園を作るってのもいいかもね。
Each of them gives an idea, but they're all so all over the place I can't help but burst into
本
laughter.
当にお前たちと来たら。
That's all it takes, everyone bursts into laughter. We're beaten, battered and bruised, and our future looks bleak, but we're still laughing. All of us from the bottom of our hearts. That's when I see it. 5 hazy figures across the rubble. Asuka with the other Hanzo girls beside her. Even when I was inside Orochi, I could sense Asuka. Me from the inside, Asuka on the outside. Do you see? 2 sides of the same coin, kind of. We were fighting Orochi together. I like how symbolic it is too. It's really cool. Light and shadow, yep. Good and evil. And even though we fought on opposite sides, we both won. My friends see them too.
いいんだよ。ひばりのところに行ってきても。
未来、生意気なこと言わないの。
As I listen to their exchange, I crack a smile.
ここで別れても、あいつらとはきっとまた会える。
Yami and Hikage both nod. There's no doubt. As long as we're shinobi, we'll continue crossing paths with the women of Hanzo. We're light and shadow, two sides of the same coin. I give her a casual wave back. That's all I feel I should do.
さて、いつまでもここにいるわけにはいくまい。
Turn towards the others.
結局どこに行くの？
どこでもいいやないか。
そうそう、なんとかなるわよ。とりあえず出発です。
Turn in the direction of the morning sun, smiling as we all start walking. We don't know what's waiting for us up ahead, but wherever we go, we know who we are, and we're ready to survive in the world of shadows. Though the light may never shine on us, I'm not afraid as long as we're together, because for us, our friends are the only light we need. As I squint into the morning sun, I declare out
さ
loud.
あ、行くぞ。これが新しい蛇女の門出だ。
And there we go. I have to skip this because I don't know about the music being copyrighted. I think it is, so... If it's not going to be copyrighted on Twitch, I guarantee you it will be copyrighted on YouTube, so... I can't really afford for the entire... Well, not the entire stream, but like a part of the stream to be muted like that. It pretty much ends with just Boss Haruka, really. Which kind of serves as the heart of Orochi, essentially. Which is kind of symbolic, considering that Haruka's like special attack has a kiss a giant heart, so... Kind of symbolic and foreshadowing in a way, which is kind of clever. Don't know if it was intentional. Probably was, actually, considering. But yeah, I'm happy that we've done the Habijo campaign. I'll probably do the the DLC character campaigns next, I think, at some point. They're like, I think it's like 10 missions per one, so I could probably do maybe an entire stream, essentially, or maybe one character per stream. It depends on how long they go for, and how many CGs they have for each one, because, you know, lots of the cutscenes tend to have CGs and narration usually. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the same case for the DLC characters. You get a ton of money for doing that, by the way. And there we go. We're pretty much back at where we started. Back at the main menu anyway. I enjoyed playing through the Habijo campaign. Definitely a lot longer than the Hanzo one. At least I feel it was a bit longer. Pretty good payoff though. I still prefer the Orochi boss fight with Asuka at the end though. But, you know, Boss Haruka wasn't too awful. I kind of enjoyed it. But yeah, it was pretty fun. We'll be doing the DLC characters in the next stream when I stream this again at some point, so we'll be looking forward to that. I'm definitely going to be heading off, brushing my teeth and going to bed after this, that's for sure. Right, that's pretty much going to be it for now. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll be catching you in the next one. Until then, ciao for now.